First order of business is to make any changes to the agenda. I have a couple of additions under roads and bridges. We want to add the certificate of highway mileage. Under new business, just an update on the launch of the new website. Those are the two things I've got. Anybody else have any changes for the agenda or additions? All right, so hearing none, we will move on to the approval of the minutes of January 25th. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of January 25th as written? Got a motion from Jacob. Is there a second? Second from Leanne. Great. Is there any discussion on the minutes? All right, well, hearing no discussion on the minutes, we'll call the question. All those in favor of approving the minutes of January 25th as written, please signify by saying aye.
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 I'll
Any
abstain.
opposed? Yep. And then we have one abstention from Mark. Great, so the minutes have been approved. Thank you. Moving on to Public Works. Michael did say that he would be a few minutes late hopping on the call, and there's a few things under buildings and grounds and roads and bridges that I do want to make sure he's here for, because I want his input on them. So if there's no objection, I might just jump down to FEMA just for a quick FEMA update. So we submitted our last roads project last Friday. So all of our material has been submitted and is in the system and is now processing. I think I've mentioned it, but the state has informed us that our first slug of reimbursements, somewhere in the neighborhood of $96,000, is approved and should be hitting us soon. I don't think it has already. The balance of the road work that we've submitted, given timelines that we've seen, we should have that approved and in our bank account before the end of the fiscal year. So that'll be great. So the one other thing that we didn't realize until Friday, after we submitted the last roads project, was that we can actually submit another category which covers a portion of staff time associated with this. So Aaron and Michael are getting their timesheets together to basically submit for every single hour, minute that they've spent on this. I tried to submit my time, but apparently our pay rate, when you break it down to hours spent, actually comes out to be a negative number. I didn't know that. Yeah, so anyway, we are going to get reimbursed for their time too, or at least a portion of it. So that's kind of additional monies that we weren't expecting. So I think all in all, it was a super smooth process. The money should all be in our account before the end of the fiscal year. So that will kind of transfer with the unreserved funds number into the actual that we start the year with. So yeah, we ended up not requesting any FEMA reimbursement for either the Riverwalk Park or the community gardens. And it wasn't because of any lack of damage, but there was so much donated time and labor and material with those two projects that we actually came in below the requisite cap to even get reimbursed. I think we came out around like $1,000 in actual expenses, which is kind of a testament to, you know, how great people in the community are with donating their time and energy and their equipment. So, so yeah, so FEMA is basically, you know, wrapped up on our end. We expect to see more reimbursements roll through. That's pretty much where we are on that front, which is great. Any questions on FEMA? All right, hearing no questions on FEMA. The removal of trees on Black Falls Brook, that was something we brought up last time. I didn't know if you had a chance to get any estimates on that, Mark.
It's actually done. Jeff Dunn went in and got it done for us. And
perfect.
I'm not sure. I told Michael to find somebody, and he did. And I'm not sure what the cost is going to be, but I don't think it's going to. I think it'll be reasonable.
Yeah,
I mean,
good.
But it just needed to be.
Awesome.
He had time to do it, so we got it done.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, Michael should be hopping on at any moment. He said he was going to be about 10 minutes late, but we'll circle back up and we'll just jump into roads and bridges right now, and he can catch up when he gets here. First item is always grant updates. I don't think there are any grant updates at this time. We have talked about applying for some wild and scenic funding for the culvert up on Hill West Road up here by Charlie Carpenter's place. That funding would come through the Wild and Scenic River Study Committee. Their application deadlines are April 2nd and February 1st.
I think the second one was the one we're going to be interested in. So,
yeah, the town infrastructure grants due April 2nd. So we'll kind of peg that. And both Lindsay and John said that it would be a project that would qualify. They didn't say it would automatically get funded, but it's definitely right in their wheelhouse. That's it for grant updates, I think, unless you've got anything else, Mark.
No, I don't. No.
Okay, great. Next item on here is the Star driveway on Hazen's Notch Road. So Mark, I don't know, has Michael talked to you about this yet?
Yeah, he did. And I guess he didn't put a culvert in when he put the driveway in. And so I'll have to talk to him and get that straightened out. I think we're going to need to redo our driveway permit. And they're going to have to put a date when it's going to be, when they want to do it. And I guess they're going to have to schedule with us, Michael or myself, to be there while they're doing it, because these driveways just aren't getting put in properly. And it's unfortunate, but then we're probably going to have to raise the fee on the driveway permit if we're going to have to be there. So same with the one on Creamery Bridge. That one hasn't been fixed yet either. So the culvert hasn't been refixed on that one. So it's starting to be an issue. And we're going to have to put a time limit of, they can't put a driveway in the middle of winter. I mean, this one was put in, in the middle of the winter. And so we got to look at the driveway permit but this one, I'll talk to them and, have them, fix it right.
Okay. I
did
send
them a certified letter and go through that process, but I'm hoping.
Yeah, that was the, so I just sent Genevieve and Liz an email asking if they could pull that permit and shoot a PDF copy of it. Because what I can do is, if I can get that tomorrow, I can draft a certified letter and get it off to them right away.
Yeah.
And then if you want to follow up.
I'd like to talk to them first before they get a certified letter.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to do that, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure we had the permit in hand because it has the conditions on the permit say culvert.
Yeah.
And my understanding is the culvert is there. It's like next to the drive, not in the.
I'd rather talk to them first before they get a certified letter.
Okay.
It might be easier to take care of it that way.
Sure. And I can hold off on that. Just let me know if you need it.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, that one and I guess the one on Creamery Bridge too, we really need to get fixed before spring because at least the one on 58, if that's not fixed come spring, we're going to have the driveway and the road wash out basically right there.
The Creamery Bridge isn't quite so bad. There isn't too much water above that one, but that one still needs to be done. That one may need a certified letter too. So we'll see. But.
All right. Anything else on driveway issues?
Not as far as I know.
Okay. All right. So the next item on here is the certificate of highway mileage. This is annually we do this. Mark, I think you've seen a copy that's in the clerk's office.
Yeah, I brought it in.
Okay.
I filled it out. Yeah, there was no changes in the mileage this year. So it's just a yearly form we have to fill out by February 20th. It just states how many miles the town has. So then that's how they reimburse us for state aid and all that. So it's the same as it was last year.
Okay.
The only change we had a couple of years ago is when we added the school driveway, but that's been done.
Do you recall, does that need just the road commissioner's signature or does it need the full board signature?
No, it needs the full board. So it's at the office. So when they come in to sign the warrants or the warning, that they can sign that too.
Okay.
They could.
I can see a hand floating above Larry's head, I think.
I can only see the top of his head shining.
Wasn't there a reduction in roads on Black Falls Road on the left going down to that farm down there, that old farm?
Mean on North Hill?
North Hill.
Yes, yes, I guess it was North Hill.
I think that was a class 4, or was it a class 3?
I don't know. I'm asking.
I think that was a class 4,
Yeah.
and we gave it up because it was basically a driveway.
Okay,
We don't
I
get
think
state aid for class 4, so, yeah.
So the certificate of mileage was not something that was on the warrant agenda. It was added just now. I had forgotten to put it on there. So you know, keeping with the spirit of everything being done, you know, the right way, we can provisionally approve this tonight, but we're going to have to circle back and formally approve it at our next meeting. Just
Yeah, I mean, it's due in the 20th, so yeah, we're good. The 15th. So, yeah.
So I guess then I would make a motion to provisionally approve the certificate of highway mileage for 2021 to be ratified at the January 15th meeting.
February 15th.
I'm sorry, yes, it's February. That's right, it is.
Yes.
It is. It's not January anymore. It's
Yes.
February. Yes. So then I would, yeah, what I said, but take out January or put in February.
I'll second that motion for February 15th.
Yeah, great. Because that will allow folks to go sign it now and then we can formally approve it. So,
yeah.
All right. So we have a motion made and seconded to provisionally approve the 2021 highway certificate of mileage to be ratified on February 15th. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we will vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Great, motion carries. So we'll bring that back up for formal approval at the next meeting. But in the meantime, if you have a chance to swing by and sign it, please do so in the next week or so. Anything else for roads and bridges?
I guess the it's washed out quite a bit more on Longley Bridge. It's getting pretty close to the pole now on that road, so that issue is getting worse.
Yeah.
Hopefully we don't have to close the road or anything, but we'll see. We'll keep a close eye on
Where's
it.
that, Mark?
What's that?
Where's the washout?
Well, it's right past Longley Bridge, Stanley and Lucinda's house on the right.
Oh,
We've applied for funding to get it fixed, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen this year. It'll be not till next year. So hopefully there's a beaver dam up above and it keeps pushing the water towards that bank. So that's some of the issue.
Yeah.
Last year, the beaver dam got washed out with the flood. So when we had that high water, so I went there the other day and it's getting close.
Yeah, everything's difficult in the winter.
Yeah.
I may let Vermont Electric know just so if they want to relocate that pole or do something before it falls in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed that it holds out until next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I mean, I wonder if we should get a hold of the engineers and just, try to light a fire under them and say this is getting to be an emergency situation, and before we are in an emergency situation, and that whatever that timeline was, it was going to take 6 months. Maybe they can do something and
okay. I will. I'll email them tomorrow morning and just let them know, along with.
Okay.
I will let the Linda. I'll let Linda know as well. Sorry, brain fart.
I seem to recall her when we were grilling her about this. I mean, this exact scenario is the scenario we're asking her about. Like, let's be honest, this is probably going to happen. What do we do then? She's like, well, we can't really plan for that, but when it happens, let us know and we'll see what we can do. So I would say, like, so remember when we had this conversation like 2 months ago, we said, this is probably not going to make it. You said, tell us then. Okay, now, then is now. I mean, it's just like,
well, yeah.
Here we are.
I knew we were going to be in this conversation before too long.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I would say it sounded like maybe she's just trying to placate us, but seemed to allude to the fact that, like, if there is an emergency thing that shows up, that they might be able to do something else. So I mean, I think,
Yeah.
pushing towards that feels appropriate.
Well, that's what that's what I thought.
I'll reach out and let them know, and we'll see what they come back with. So,
Thank you, Charlie.
Yeah, thanks.
Good Lord.
all right, if there's nothing else under roads and bridges, we'll move on to buildings and grounds. First item here is just 98 Main Street. There's no news on that front whatsoever. Not really expecting anything. So we'll just carry that over again. The PSB town office renovations RFP. So as I mentioned at our last meeting, our last regular meeting, the library did get back to us with kind of a needs assessment that kind of outlines what they're looking at, which helps us frame the ideas around what we need for design work. So the next step is, I think what I'm going to do is reach out to Cross Engineering and just see if we can get a quote on what it would take to draft essentially the scale might not be the right word, but the type of plans that we need to move this forward.
The project description or
yeah, kind of. Well, I mean, we need plans essentially for it. And Jacob and I had been discussing this, and kind of the degree of the plans was going to kind of depend on the needs assessment of the library in terms of like, are we looking for more space, or are we looking for a complete rework of X, Y, and Z that's going to take more than something simple? So basically what we're looking at would be to get a set of plans together, which would allow us to essentially then go out to contractors and say, hey, we want this done, give us an estimate. So that would be the next step there. I'll see if we can get some movement on that before town meeting, but it may end up being a post-town meeting thing that we move back to. That's the next step there, is to get the actual kind of design plans done so that we can then go out to bid for the actual contracting work.
Will that include also the town office area incorporated?
Yeah, so the idea was that we knew we wanted to do some renovations there. The library chimed in and said that they would love to get some renovations done on their side of the building to increase space. And so we figured if we can combine the projects, it would be more efficient. And so now that we have the library's end of stuff, now we can go into the actual design plan phase. And that'll give us an idea of kind of what we're doing. And then the other part of it would be, when we execute the project, how do we phase it in a way where it's as budget neutral as possible in terms of using reserve account allocations and things like that. So that's the story with that. Any questions on the public service building or Grange Hall? I mean, public service building, library. Oh yeah, Sue, yep.
My question is actually back to 98 Main, if I may, or do you want me to wait for visitors? Oh, okay.
No, go ahead.
There was a rumor around at one point that the post office was actually looking for other space. Anybody heard anything more on that? That they were actually looking for space to move.
Yeah, I heard that rumor. I don't know who they
That's
were
all
talking.
it was probably just rumors. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I mean, the post office basically, I think, has decided to like just not talk to us.
Right.
Which is sad. So, yeah.
Okay, that was it.
Okay. Great. Last item under buildings and grounds is the town hall, Grange Hall furnace repair or replacement, I should say. So I'm going to share my screen here for a second and just pull up the quote we got from John Mercy. So this is from Mercy's Heating from John. You can see here the description of work, essentially removing the oil furnace, capping the lines, installing a high efficiency propane furnace, duct work, piping, venting. What we're looking at as a estimate here, it's a little grainy, but is $17,790. So about $18,000 to replace the furnace at the Grange Hall.
And the reason we're looking at going to propane is the chimney is not any good anymore.
Right.
And the chimney is overhanging the riverbank.
Right.
So in order to replace the chimney, to keep it with oil, you're looking at, $10,000 or $12,000 just to replace the chimney.
Yeah.
And so that's why we're looking at going with propane, which I think will be more efficient.
That makes sense. I mean, fuel oil is more efficient than propane, but the cost differences would be tremendous.
Yeah. And so there's, but this quote includes removing the old furnace.
Yeah.
But we still have the issue of the oil tank too in the ground.
Yeah.
So that's the
Does that
issue.
include
That's
taking
why
that out also, Mark?
No, he's
No.
not taking that out.
No, but however, that is something that I think we can get grant funding to do because it's a buried oil tank adjacent to a river. So that I think we can get covered.
Awesome. Well,
I'm not going to put, I wouldn't, I'm not saying we can. I think we can, given what we're looking at.
But I think it's easier to get it just removed and not have to put another one in.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So it's 18,000 for the furnace swap and replacement. This was baked into the budget, building capital improvement fund reserve account allocation. So it's going to come out of there. So we'll have the funds to cover it.
I'm not sure if Michael got a quote from Rondo's too. I think he was supposed to get another quote.
Okay, that was my other question, was whether or not we've had one. That would be great if we could, because it's something of this scale, we should, per our procurement policy, get at least 2 quotes.
Yeah. I mean, it would require putting a bigger tank in too, a propane tank, Grange Hall too.
Okay, great. Hey, Michael.
Hey, sorry about being late, everybody.
No, it's okay. So we were just talking about the Grange Hall furnace, and we looked over Mercy's estimate, and just curious, were you going to get one from Rondo as well?
Yeah, I'm still waiting on him.
Okay.
He hasn't given me anything yet.
Okay. Great. Larry, did you have a question?
There's an outfit in Orleans, Vermont that specializes in removal of underground tanks. And if I go back through my records, I'll see if I can find it and send it to you, so you can at least get an estimate on it.
Great.
Okay.
Thanks.
That might help with your grant
that'd be great.
application.
Awesome.
Well, I think we are all set for town meeting though, for the heat for right now. So.
So the polling place will have heat on.
Yeah.
Great. So I just want to, anything else on the Grange Hall furnace? I think we'll wait to get that next quote in and probably look to decide hopefully at our next meeting, 2 weeks. Hopefully that'll be enough time to get the other one in.
I was just gonna say, I could see like a couple like minor details of you might want to ask for in the spec, like mastic sealing joints, confirming it's direct vent, a couple of those like just like quality install pieces. If we're comparing quotes, I could probably pick those up while we're looking at them. I'm happy to help with some of that language if that's useful.
Okay.
Awesome. Thanks, Jacob.
Yeah.
Great. So yeah, we'll wait to get the other quote in. We'll discuss and we'll decide at our next meeting in 2 weeks.
I know Michael was saying that they came and did an inspection on the boiler at the town garage, and John Mercy put that in, and I guess the inspector was really impressed, really happy with the installation, and
Oh, great.
that was set up and working. So, hey, Michael. Yeah.
Yes, he was. And even the unit that John installed there, he said that was a very dependable unit.
Great.
Great.
I've had great success with John on half a dozen jobs.
Great.
Awesome.
All right, so we'll carry this over to our next meeting. I do want to just pause for 1 sec and give Michael a chance to add any thoughts he's got. Mike, we did cover the driveway situation up on Hazen's Notch Road. Mark's gonna go reach out to them and see if we can work it out. If not, I will send them a certified letter. But I did want to let you chime in on that or anything else on your radar as far as public work goes.
Okay, yeah, with the driveway, yeah, I mean, he obviously paid no attention to any of the specifications, anything on the permit. I mean, he put it in with no culvert. The road is ramped, or excuse me, his driveway is ramped right out into the town highway. So all the watershed off his driveway is going exit, it's going to dump it all right out in the road.
Yeah,
So that's going to be a constant problem.
no, that's no good.
No, he's got no ditches, so everything that flows off from his property is going to end up right out in the middle of the town road. Not to mention, no culvert across the driveway. So we're okay at the moment, but as soon as we get a little thaw, that ditch line's going to overflow and we're going to have icebergs out in the middle of the road.
Right.
Okay, but yeah, like I said, Mark will reach out to him and then we can follow up and ensure that it gets fixed.
I was saying too, Michael, that we're gonna relook at our driveway permit, and I think people are gonna need to put a date when they want to install it, and we may have to be on site to, when they install them, and they're gonna have to pay more for a driveway permit if they can't. We keep having this problem. I mean, it's unfortunate, but I think that's what we're gonna have to do. So make it put in correctly so we don't lose our roads. I mean, so that's something we'll look at after town meeting. We'll relook at the driveway permits.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think you're right. We need to try and rework this, do something differently.
Yeah, more specifics in regards to date, start, stop, and the whole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, not from October to, spring, not be able to put one in,
Right.
I mean, because this was put in, end of December, January. So we will revisit that after town meeting and see if we can fix it up a little better.
All right.
Great.
That sounds good.
Michael, other question we had was on the removal of trees from Black Falls Brook. Sounds like that went forward well.
Yes, that has been completed. That went very smoothly, quickly. Jeff Donner was able to get in there and do that for us.
Awesome. Great. So anything else before we move on from Public Works, is there anything else, Michael, that's on your radar?
No, just question if we were considering maybe posting the position. If we're at that point, I mean, we may need several weeks to advertise it. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there.
Well, I think we should advertise it right now because a lot of people get laid off in the winter and then they look for jobs, in the spring. And I think we should need to just at least get it posted and, get it out there. So I talked to Liz about it today and she said she could, get together a job posting. So
I just wonder if there's some other places, other places we can post this other than what we've been doing in the past. I mean, I don't know. I don't have any suggestions as to where, but some online sites or something that might be available to us.
Yeah, we can look around.
Versus just, like the Courier or the town's website. I don't know if it'll make any difference or not, but I didn't know if we could look into, something like that.
I'll talk to Sheldon. I think Greg Stevens, they had a couple other places they were posting theirs and see where they posted them. He's a selectman there. See. Yeah.
All right, we'll get on that.
Okay.
Anything else, Mike, on your radar?
Yeah, just a little side note, as far as Jeff is concerned, helping us. I mean, he's been good overall. We do have one issue with him, crowding the snowbanks back over the ditches, which that's okay in a sense, but he's hitting a lot of obstacles with the wing, and the wing is starting to show its toll. So we may have, some expenses to repairing the wing on that truck come springtime. As he's hitting ledges and stumps, I talk to him on a daily basis, trying to tell him to narrow up, and it's not doing any good. It seems like every time I say it, he goes wider. I mean, nothing major yet, but like I said, I mean, every little ding, every little bump, it's doing damage. It's starting to take a toll on the wing.
I guess I'll stop in and try to talk to him about it. And I noticed he's loading that truck up pretty heavy too. He's
Yeah.
putting pretty on, and I mean, I know he's helping us out, but we can't have our equipment being damaged either.
I've told him repeatedly to lighten the loads up, and he just ignores it.
Well, maybe I'll stop in and have a little chat with him.
I don't
Yeah.
know how far to crowd him to push him, because I don't want him to walk off and quit, because then we'd be in an even worse situation.
No, I'll see what I can do. Yeah.
Okay.
Since we're
All
on the,
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Brent.
one thing that's, I wanted to point out, that it's probably nothing that we can do since it is a state highway, but be nice if you could drop a wing on the sidewalk on the bridge in the center.
We've already got a big slap, a big no and a warning not to do that.
So maybe we tell the state to get their shit together and clean it up.
Yeah. Jeff did that
I
one
mean,
day.
it's the only safe way to cross the damn bridge,
Oh, I agree. No, I agree. No, we already made an attempt, and boy,
I figured it was nothing we could do.
instantly,
Yeah,
instantly, we were getting reprimanded.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, enough said on that.
We tried.
All right. Well, if that's it for Public Works, we can move on to visitors. Michael, you're welcome to hang out, or you can go try to get some shut-eye before you're back awake in 5 hours to start plowing.
Yeah, I don't see too much on the agenda. I mean, I got some curiosity, some of it, but I think I will take my leave.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. Well, thanks so much. You guys are doing great work.
Thank you.
Take care. So with that, what we're going to do is we'll move on to visitors. We usually go in the order folks joined the meeting. So Larry, I think you were the first one on the meeting tonight. Do you have anything for visitors?
Wanted to make a comment about the budget meeting last week. I thought it was very good. I feel bad that I didn't actually attend some of the actual budget process, but I thought you did a really good job. The other question I want to know, the sample ballot that was put online, as far as the select board, the names I saw there, is it? There's no other people running?
That's all we got for consent of candidate forms. The write-in is still open to anybody. I mean, so if somebody decides tomorrow they want to start a campaign and get their name on there, they can do it. But those are the only people that we got consent of candidate forms in for.
In that regard, I want to thank Jacob very much for everything he's done. Don't always agree with him, but he's done a really good job for us, and he's going to be well missed.
Yeah, same here. I plan on saying the same thing. Thank you for taking the wind out of my sails on that. But yes, thank you, Jake.
Here.
Thank you.
If I had a beer, I'd raise it to you.
I hope to run again in the future when I have a bit more bandwidth. And I'm sorry I can't run again this time.
There's a famous saying. I'm not going to say it online, but there's a famous saying on that. Am I up next? I'm the next visitor, or Sue?
I don't recall who came next.
I came in last, so.
It was me.
Okay.
Sue, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I just wanted to say that I saw on the news today that workman's compensation is going to be going down 36% again this year, every year. So I'm hoping that meant municipalities also, not just private businesses.
Oh.
I don't know.
Every year, workman's comp has been going down since 2015. And this year it's going down again, 36%.
I read that as well.
Yeah,
I'll have to check
it was
with
on the news today at noon.
I will have to check with Aaron. I was under the impression that our rate had actually increased for workman's comp.
No, it's gone down every year. Well,
yeah, we did have a claim against us this year that'll impact it. But I can check with Aaron and see.
Yeah, but anyway, I mean that would be great. That's a big reduction, 36%.
That'd be great because
Yeah.
the budget.
That was all. Because I thought, oh, that would be good for our budget.
Yeah, I'll ask Aaron.
That's all I had.
Thanks, Sue. Brent?
Hey, a couple of things. I spoke with Linda Kluba quite a bit in the last couple of days in regards to dogs loose and licensing lack of. And I just wanted to mention that she is very interested in doing by the state, it's paid by the state, I believe, the dog survey.
Mhm.
She wouldn't be able to start that until April when the weather is a little bit better. But she is interested in doing that.
Great.
And also, what's the status with Dorothy Preston? Did she decline being the animal control officer in Montgomery, or was she ever approached?
Who?
Dorothy Preston. Linda brought her name up, said that she agreed that she would do the job.
I don't remember hearing that
New to
name.
you? Okay, cool. Well, so Dorothy Preston, she does Enosburg and Richford, I believe.
Okay.
definitely
I'll
need
contact
somebody.
Linda and get her contact info.
I don't have, I'm sorry, I wasn't quite totally ready with it, so I don't have a phone number.
No, it's okay. I can get
I
it
can
from Linda.
get that.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because, of course, you know, a lot of people in Montgomery are very concerned about, you know, dogs in particular running around, you know, and stuff, and have to laugh because one lady picked up these two black labs, really young brother and sister type of thing, really friendly, you know, and jumped in her truck and, you know, laid in the back and was just all happy, you know, no, it's nice and warm in here, you know. Well, they were still on their own property. And
Oh, jeez.
so anyways, we got them back home, you know, but it's just something that's been coming up for different people. Of course, uh, Tiffany Jones,
Practicing for children.
yeah, Tiffany Jones. Tiffany Jones read the riot act to some people that own the house on the end of Cote Road, because that dog has been like loose and picked up a dozen times. Last time was quite bloodied from whatever, and showed up, and Tiffany picked it up. So this time she went up, borrowed a megaphone from me. No, she didn't, and went up to the house and actually started beating on the house, you know, and trying to straighten the guy out. I guess it helped. So anyway, but I would definitely look. We need somebody to deal with.
Yeah.
To deal, because I know the job falls on me if there is no one, but that's nothing I want to do, and I really have no way of dealing with it, you know.
Yep.
So, I mean, I do what I can do in regards to contacting people and whatever.
Yeah.
So that's
Great.
it.
Well, we'll chase down Dorothy Preston. So we'll get in
Dorothy
contact with her.
Preston. Yeah.
Great.
Right. That's it for me.
Awesome. Thanks, Brent.
Yeah.
And I did see a note from Barry. It sounds like he's all set as far as visitors go. So if there's nothing else for visitors, what we'll do is we will move on to Water Commission issues. So the issue here, or the item tonight is just to approve the FY 22 budget. So I'm gonna bring that up right now and we'll walk through it. Everybody see that okay?
Yes. Now we can.
So water user fees. Again, remember that FY21 was a bigger budget because of the transitional year, but Aaron put this together, basically looking at trends and actuals. So this water user fees is down a little bit from what we had budgeted in 2019. I think we over budgeted in 2019. So this actually reflects more of a conservative actual. This mirrors that with the bond fees. You know, the water service fees and interest is kind of negligible. Same with the delinquencies. And then the town support number here, the 13,736, is just the same number as every year. So as far as our income side of the ledger goes, you know, we are seeing a little bit dip in the projected water user fees, but it's pretty much in line with what we were seeing back in 18. Coming down to the expense side of the ledger, stipend remains the same as always. According to Ross, you know, there's going to be less need for supplies, as well as some equipment. or I'm sorry, there's less need for supplies. There is a little bit of equipment that he's gonna need, so we're looking at 1,500 for equipment. A lot of these other ones are just kind of basic, maintenance things, the mowing, electricity, those are remaining pretty much constant. Propane, contracted services, that's Simon operations system. Dues remain constant. Testing, we've bumped back up to the 2019 levels. So we're gonna have some of that to do. Tools, we're carrying forward 500, pretty much the standard number we always do. Again, equipment, there's a few things that Ross is gonna need. Building maintenance, the building does need some work done to it, so that's why that's at 2,500. And then the balance of this is basically just the same stuff that we've always got, the bond payments. The water fees, I think, were something that kind of bounced between different years, but this is what Aaron's got it estimated at, is 800. Anybody have any questions on the proposed water budget?
Yeah, quick question. I mean, it's really minor, but it's still a thing. So tools at 500, is that a reserve account that we're trying to build up for a larger investment? Because if not, we've been putting away 500 for a couple of years, and it looks like we haven't drawn down for the last couple of years. And is that necessary?
We don't reserve account it. It basically just ends up, it ends up in kind of like whatever the checkbook balance would be that we have, which is interesting because there's no unreserved funds number associated with this.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a great question that I can ask Aaron.
And it says using reserve account kind of lightly or colloquially, because I didn't recall that we had, formal breakdown of sub-accounts in there. But yeah, since we're larger below the line than above, that's where I start looking at the smaller numbers and see if there's a few things we might be able to tick away at.
Yep. Yeah, I can certainly bring that up to her and ask her what the status of, unreserved funds that are carried over is.
Yeah.
Any other questions on this?
We also need to double check when Simon's contract is up. I think we did a 5-year contract last time, and to make sure we aren't going to get an increase there. I don't think it's up this year, but
I want to say it's got another, I think it's got another 2 years left on it, but I'll check.
Yeah. No, it looks good to me. I think that's, yeah.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions or want me to scroll to something?
I'll just call out for the, just for the sake of thoroughness to records, since we only look at this every so often, once a year or so. Yeah, I think there's still a need for a long game strategy on getting financial solvency on the budget. I didn't want to let this go without actually, I have no specific suggestions in the moment, and I feel like that guy who gets to call it out and be like, sorry, I'm out after the next 3 meetings, but did want to just note that as an outstanding and kind of ongoing thing.
Yeah, what I might do is invite Aaron to one of our future meetings just to have a kind of in-depth conversation about that. Now that she's seen multiple years of this and has a feel for it,
right.
We can kind of tackle that. Because yeah, that is Jacob's great point. It is kind of a perennial thing that we operate in the red as a matter of course. That's how we've operated. Can't do it forever. So, all right. So is there a motion to approve the FY22 water budget?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, great. Is there a second?
Yeah.
Got a second from Jacob. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor of approving the FY22 water budget, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Great, we've approved the water budget. Moving on, just old business. We can probably cruise through these relatively quickly. First item is just the COVID-19 placeholder for any discussion around this at each meeting. I don't have any updates other than all the things that everybody already knows vaccines are rolling out. They're starting to station them around. As Sue mentioned, they're going to be in Munisburg in 2 weeks. We are seeing some spikes in cases in the region and locally, so we still need to be vigilant about that.
Should we be looking at trying to get our road crew vaccinated? You know, it's one of those guys gets it or goes out, we're kind of stuck. I'm not sure if they're on the priority list or if there's something we can do to
That's
try
a
to
great
get that
question.
done.
I'll email the state and ask them if that falls into the one of the early pools.
I know I would feel better if I think they want it done, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I will. I'll shoot an email to the state and ask them where that falls in the tier.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, thanks.
Great. Anybody else have anything under this topic? Yeah, Jacob.
Yeah, you mentioned that there's more cases going on in town. That's definitely worth like reinforcing. We're by no means in any kind of place of safety. And I've got kid in school system also worth noting. The school's also going back to 4 days, which seems like a little bit of tension there between increased cases and also increased kids in school. And so just sort of worth noting that those things are both happening, and just, you know, in any of the public forums or as town leaders, the ability to kind of call out some of those risks and more of an issue around community spread. And oh my God, I can't like even count the number of different folks that have dropped references to coming up to Jay from out of state for a few days. Like, let's be under no illusion that there is not, like, I would guess maybe like 1 out of every like 100 people up on that mountain is actually following quarantine protocols if they're not in state. So it's just worth noting every time I go by Sylvester's and see all bank of cars from out of state. It's the variants are out there, just that extra vigilance. I want to see us all stay safe, and I always feel overprotective of our community when things like this happen. So just want to call out.
And you got to give the Mountain Jay credit. They have been bending over backwards to try to have protocols up there. And it gets tough. I mean, you get a day when let's get on wind hold. Everybody ends up at one lift, and you've got 300 people in a line that you need to separate and mask. But you know, Mickey, Mimi, Walter, all those guys are really trying to do the best they can. And
totally,
as you said, Jacob, it's the honor system as far as people coming up here.
Exactly.
And I mean, it should be no surprise to anybody, but like the spikes in cases that we're seeing in the area are coming from things like birthday parties.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
exactly.
We live in small towns. You can ask around and you pretty much know where people are getting. I mean, it's, you know, so anyway, just people need to be really cognizant that, like, you know, maybe having a birthday party is not a good idea this year. Anyway, anything else on this topic before we move on? All right, moving on, wastewater streetscape projects. There's no updates here on this one. The next big step here is just the town meeting votes around the financing options. I am gonna work with Zach to get the Thrives website re-engaged in the next week or so, just to get the report on financing options up there with a summary of everything as it relates to the items on the warning. But that's pretty much the news on that front. It's just the work in anticipation of town meeting.
The warning, everything's up there on the website, Charlie.
On the Thrives website?
On the town website.
Yeah, the town. So what I was going to do is work with Zach to re-engage the Thrives website, which we can link it to the town. That's fine, and that way we have a place to house all of the material. The preliminary engineering study is up there still, so we can add the financing study. Just a place for people to go to get information when they want it.
And when is the website going to be up and totally?
Yeah, that's coming soon in the agenda.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's it as far as updates around the streetscapes and wastewater project. Again, the streetscape project is pretty much paused until the spring anyway, so there's no real news there. Town meeting planning, you know, the warning's been adopted and posted. If you haven't had a chance to swing by and sign the official copy, please do so. I mean, it's officially adopted, but we do need signatures on that for the record. So the only thing that we haven't talked about or spent a lot of time on is the town report, which Genevieve and Liz and Aaron have been cranking out. So we're in a really good place with the town report, to be honest. The one thing that we haven't talked about is the cover. And typically the board talks about this after a meeting. I don't know if that's a open meeting law violation, picking the person on the cover, but we don't usually do it during a meeting because we want to keep it secret. So I don't know how to do that with this forum, and I don't really want to go into executive session because that would be illegal technically. So we'll just
Use
have
the
it,
chat?
well, that chat gets recorded too, I think. So,
Dang.
so we have to talk about it. So I guess I just ask people who are on the meeting to maybe just keep their mouth shut.
I won't type anything either in case
Yeah.
anyone reads the minutes. So
So we do have to pick the cover this year. Last year after town meeting, the board briefly talked about having Tim Murphy on the cover. Tim was the moderator at town meeting for, I don't know how long, like.
Forever.
Do you know, Brent, how long he was? I can go back and look.
I don't know but long time.
So it's
Yeah,
gotta
I mean,
be
it's-
20, 25 years.
Oh, yeah,
More than that.
yeah.
So, so Tim, the board basically at the after town meeting last year with Tim announcing he wasn't going to run again, the board kind of just said, hey, that would be a great cover for next year.
Absolutely.
I do want to open it to discussion if anybody has any other ideas, but that was floated by the board.
I think it's a great idea.
I think it's a great idea.
All right, well, if there's no objection, I will try to chase down a appropriate yet mildly embarrassing picture of Tim for the cover of the town report.
Perfect.
And like I said, you can just try to keep it under your hat so that he doesn't
Oh.
find out.
I'll put it on Facebook.
Okay, great. If it's on Facebook, it has to be true anyway, so.
And that's
All
great.
right, awesome, thank you. Other item under old business is just the CUD update, the communications union. I don't have one for tonight, but I'll try to get one for our next meeting. New business. Before we hit the overweight truck permits and liquor licenses, the website discussion was the added item here. So Liz and I had a good hour-and-a-half long conversation walk through with Zach. And I think I'm on okay ground doing this. So I'm just going to share my screen for a second and give people a flavor of what we're looking at. So can folks see this okay?
Yes.
So this is essentially a not live version of what the new website is going to have. It's basically the high points here are that it's a new interface, incredibly expanded search functions, which are essentially threaded through all of the data in here, even to the point of like scanned PDFs. So over time, the search functions are going to get incredibly good on this website for folks looking for things. There's also a consistency across the information in that things are tagged to reflect the same thing everywhere. So once one thing is amended on a certain topic in a tag, it will get amended across the entire website. So we won't be chasing down little things over and over again.
Nice.
The menu is much more interactive and dynamic, again, with things tagged. So the homepage is going to look like it kind of does now with the entry banner, search bar. There's going to be a place for notices here. These will cycle through. You can have 2, you can have 6, you can have as many as we want, but the notices are going to go up here. The main banner bar at this point is going to look like this with certain updates and certain kind of carried forward things. There's going to be kind of a blog function. So as updates get made for anything from the farmers market to select board news or Thrive stuff, this is going to act as an update place with a blog that will warehouse them so that people can go back and read them all. Down here, you've got files and documents. So this here will show any of the newest additions to the files and documents. So you don't have to search for them if there's something that just came out. They should show up here. But there will be the ability to search the back end Boards and departments, again, this is still a little bit of a work in process, but boards and departments are going to show up here. And then he's working on a frequently asked questions list that's going to populate over here and be housed elsewhere, so that when folks come to the page and they want something specific, it might actually show up here. So the search functions are great, you know, minutes and agendas. You've got the ability to come right into here, where again, you've got them tagged based on date. So they're all under this page sequential by the date, but you can also come up here and pull a full menu. Sorry, you can, my Zoom banner is in the way. So you can come up here, pull down a full menu of the boards and committees, navigate right to it, and that'll bring you to the individual page. We still need a picture from Suzanne. But this will have a description of what the board is, what they do, the members, the terms, contact info, meeting, and this will have all of the agendas and minutes with a warehouse for past ones too. So that hopefully gives you a little bit of the flavor of the website and what we're looking at as far as kind of some of the overarching changes. But the functionality of it is going to be amazing. The visual interface is great and it's very user friendly. I got to say the amount of back-end work Zach put into this as far as the back-end interface with the dynamic and tagging of data and things and the way it's going to function throughout the site is going to be so much cleaner and better for both the town and for the users. So Zach's really gone over and above on this.
Much more fluid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the target is to have this live, I think January 15th or 16th. So we're about 2 weeks out. We're going to do, I'm sorry, February 15th. Yeah, it's February again. Yes, so the 15th or 16th, it should be live. The hope was to give folks a couple of weeks before town meeting to be able to get in there and use it in anticipation of that to find things. So that's the update on the website. It's really coming together.
Yeah,
Good job.
yeah.
Yeah, it looks great.
So with that, what we're going to do is we're going to move on to overweight truck permits if there's no objection there. And I am going to again screen share so that Mark can take a look at these.
Okay, my truck's registered, so I'm out here. See you, bye.
So first one that we have is Arthur Davis, A&D logging. These are the weights here, Mark, 99,000.
That one looks good.
Okay. Next up is Goslin Water Wells, drilling equipment, 80,000.
Yeah, those look good.
All right, RG Goslin Inc.
Same.
Yeah, those look good.
Okay, great.
So,
And then Bourne's Energy, propane.
yeah, that looks good.
All right, great. If those all look good, then I would entertain a motion to approve the overweight truck permits for A&D Logging, Goslin Water Wells Inc., RG Goslin Inc., and Bourne's Energy, or Bourne's Inc., DBA Bourne's Energy.
So moved.
We have a motion from Mark. Is there a second? Hey, get out of there. Sorry. Is there a
I'll
second?
second it.
We have a
I think he's
second.
talking to me.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Great, motion carries. Next up, liquor and tobacco licenses. We only have one of these tonight. Unfortunately, we have two in the box, but the Phineas came in today and it wasn't warned, so we'll do that next time. So tonight's is Jolly Associates. This is SB Collins. This is the Jolly. This is a second class license for SB Collins or Jolly Associates. I don't have a screen capture of it to share, but it's a.
I'll make a motion to approve is it second class license for all the associates?
Yep. Great. So we have a motion from Mark to approve the second class license for Jolly Associates. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Great. We have a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Great. With that, we have gone through the agenda. Anybody have any other parting thoughts before we entertain a motion to adjourn? If not, then a motion to adjourn is always in order.
I'll make that motion.
Great, we have a motion from Mark to adjourn. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
We've got a second from Leanne. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Great, motion carries. Well, thanks everybody for another great, efficient meeting.
Yes.
Have a good week, everybody.
Yes,
Have a good
you
evening.
too. Bye-bye.
Take care.